going on? So yesterday I read in sports, Jerry Stackhouse, former NBA player, um, college coach, I believe now, said that he was embarrassed playing with Michael Jordan in Washington. And some people are going to run with that. Let's be real. Let me tell you a few things, and it depends on if you were around during Michael Jordan's Wizard era. Michael Jordan's Wizard era, even though it wasn't that memorable, there was a few exceptional games. He had a few moments, and he had some good games, but he was older, and you could definitely tell that Father Time had got kicked him in the behind, and but he still had some of those kind of mini moments where you had a spurge of what you know. But it was definitely not you know average teams. But him and Doug Collins had teamed up, and they was trying to rekindle. Uh, Doug Collins got fired in Chicago. Him and Jordan went different ways, and Doug Collins had an assistant on the bench named Phil Jackson, who later went on to become arguably the greatest NBA head coach, or in that trinity of them, or in that Rushmore, however you want to call it. And Doug Collins missed out on that jury run. But anyway, Jerry Stackhouse got traded from Detroit for Richard Hamilton. And that was before Rip Hamilton became Rip Hamilton when he was in Detroit and got seasoned and ended up becoming a winner. And then enhanced his game. And there's a lot of things. And Stackhouse was a North Carolina boy, and man, at the time, North Carolina, and they were homeboys, and it seemed like a our gang clique. Jordan and Stackhouse are boys, and let's get it together in the Tar Heel, and all that mess. Problem was, when you're playing our gang and signing up, Jordan did what LeBron and Kevin Durant and others get told, trying to form his own situation. He was part owner. He had to give up stakes to anyone. He had some decent games, but Washington wasn't constructed to be a threat. They could have made the playoffs, but he got hurt. His body was giving out on him. And the bottom line was he wasn't the same no more. That game where he pretty much said Kobe can wear the shoes, but he can't feel the shoes thing. And then Kobe lit his behind up out in L.A. And it was situations like that where wins were at a premium, and he could still play at the level, and he had some really good games. But let's be realistic. And I understand what Jerry Stackhouse is saying when he said you don't want to be near your heroes. Sometimes it's better to keep afar. Because pardon me, because the word was Kobe had wanted to come join up with Jordan in Washington. I'm like, no, not at that time. No, you don't want to be with nobody that's past the prime and their peak. And you can get words of wisdom, but you can't get that championship Polaroid. It's not the same. A lot of people almost tune out Jordan's last couple of years in Washington and choose to romanticize the push off against Byron Russell to seal the deal in Game 6 against Utah and win and have the pose with the shot. That's how you rather remember Jordan, not the Washington era. And I understand what Jerry Stackhouse was saying. It was kind of like when Charles Barkley came to Philadelphia and he played with Dr. J and Moses, but especially with Dr. J was near the end of his career. And when a cat who's great, and you're playing with him in the end, it's not the same. You have to choose your words because it's not, I don't say embarrassing, but he's not where he was, So when you see a great player, you either hope they bow gracefully or make you wonder, did they still have something left in the tank? But you'll never want to see them at like they're hunched over and they're just going through the motions to get a check or whatever they're doing, because that's not how you want to remember them, So I understand what Jerry Stackhouse meant about playing with Michael Jordan and how he wished he had stayed in Detroit. But anyway, that's my thoughts and takes about Jerry Stackhouse, talking about how it was tough to play with Michael Jordan near the end of Jordan's career in Washington. Give me your thoughts and your takes. Like it, subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And sometimes your instincts are right the first time. I'm out.